Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about how to start passion projects as a high schooler to get into some top colleges and just build up your resume, beef up your resume, do some really interesting things. Passion projects are kind of part of your spike in application. It's kind of the thing that differentiates you from other people. It's something that you're really passionate about, something you make a lot of progress on, something that um, really helps define you as a unique candidate. And so passion projects could be things like, I'm just going to shout out a lot of examples, but it could be like starting a YouTube channel, making a blog, uh, starting a local volunteer organization or nonprofit. It could be like um, teaching and tutoring for free. It could be volunteering at a hospital. Uh, it could be like participating in competitions like USACO, um, like math competitions like AMC 10 and 12. Could be like writing competitions. There's tons of examples. Developing apps and websites, building a business, writing a book. You can see that there's tons and tons and tons of opportunities to start passion projects. And my recommendation is kind of figure out something that you're really interested in and then start working on that. So let's say that a student was interested in biology like I was in high school, and now I'm in med school. And so my passion project was kind of, I wanted to do something over the summer that helped me get involved in research. And I was really interested in neuroscience research. So what I did is I emailed close to like 100 professors at a local college, and I asked them if they had any availability to sort of teach or mentor me for the summer. And so basically what I did is I emailed all of them and asked them, and a couple of them said, yeah, sure. I went in, interviewed with one of them. They created a lot of responsibilities for me over that summer. The last 2 weeks I worked on my own project. I started like continuing that project throughout the school year. I started writing about it. I went to science fairs. I talked to people who were neuroscientists, and it became my passion project to kind of learn as much as I could about the specific project and about neuroscience and learn everything that I could. And so that was a passion project that really, really helped my career moving forward, because it meant that I had sort of exposed myself to something that a lot of people don't expose themselves to. And it helped me establish myself as, if I go to a school, then I'm kind of establishing myself that I'm going to be pre-med, I'm going to be interested in neuroscience, I'm going to be interested in applying to med school, and I might have a strong application. And so that's kind of like a really, really creative and important way to identify what your interests are. So again, identify your interests. It's probably difficult to figure out what is your interest right now, but I mean, it could be like playing sports, painting, coding, reading books, writing books, anything that I mentioned, right? Math questions, computer science, and now start brainstorming ideas, right? It kind of helps to just free write and figure out what are potential projects that I could be getting involved in nearby. So online has kind of opened up a huge number of projects that you could do. Some places that I recommend that you can look to is like things like Udemy, things like Coursera, things like MIT Open, and I've made other videos about these specific resources, but things like MIT Open Courseware, things like Coursera, things like Udemy, these types of websites already have classes and have associated projects at the end of those classes that you can get started on. So let's say you take a MIT Open Courseware class on how to build an online marketplace, right? So you come up with the idea, you want to take the class, you take the class, it's free, you take the class, and at the end they tell you that the project for the class is to develop your own online marketplace, right? So you have to now develop the website, develop the marketplace, and now your job is to try to attract people from maybe like Facebook and try to get people to start using your online marketplace, right? If somebody came to me and had done that, I now have a lot of questions that I can ask them in an interview. I'm really curious about them. I know that they developed a lot of skills, and this is a really cool project that they developed, and they kind of did it for free by just taking a really difficult class on MIT Open Courseware, right? You want to learn how to, learn some advanced calculus class, right? You take a Coursera class. You want to learn like some advanced like digital art painting thing, right? You can go to Udemy. But I think that, colleges more and more want people who kind of go beyond the confines of their classroom or beyond the confines of like whatever limits that are put on them, and just kind of don't take permission for things and just start experimenting, right? If you develop that capacity to just go and do permissionless work, just go and start working on something and grinding on it and trying to learn as much as you can, that's kind of like a really, really valuable story to share on your interviews and your essays, things like that, right? I know that when I was applying to med school, something that a lot of people asked me about was how I was blogging for several years and making videos and giving advice, and they were asking like, oh, what got you interested in that? How did you get started? How did you get started with blogging? Things like that. How many impressions have you gotten? And it's kind of like a pretty cool thing because it wasn't really related to med school. I had tons of other activities that were related to my med school applications, but a lot of the interviewers were asking about my blogging experiences, and I thought that was a pretty cool little project that I had worked on that was really good for answering questions and being an interesting candidate. Okay, the next thing is researching existing projects. So I made another video, but I talked about how you can kind of get interest in clinical research, and how to do that is looking at the NIH database. And a lot of times, you're not going to make a ton of progress on something you're working on by yourself, but if you join existing projects like how I did with the neuroscience laboratory, or if you go on like the NIH database and you look at clinical studies that are going on near you and you try to get involved in those, that can be really great to get involved with people who are ahead of you in your career and get mentorship and things like that. You can join local volunteer organizations and try to get a board position in that. You can go through EMT training if you're probably not old enough yet, but you could try to do that and join people in the ambulance who are doing like first aid kit, things like that. You can become a phlebotomist. You can research existing things. You can go to your library and see if they have existing projects and get involved with things that other people are involved in, and sort of go out there and learn from people who are already working on existing projects. Okay, the next thing is you really want to keep yourself accountable. And the reason why I'm saying this is that let's say you want to develop a website. It's really easy to get sidetracked, watch YouTube videos, and then start getting entertained. It's really easy to not actually come up with a final project with your your side hustle, right? And you kind of want to set goals and deadlines for yourself so that you actually have something presentable to show because of your passion project, right? If you're applying to college and you said that you spent 2 years coding an app, but you don't actually have something in the App Store, or you don't actually have something to show for it, then it's kind of questionable whether you actually did something. But, if you kind of made these milestones for yourself where, like by day 30, you're going to have like a draft of an app, like a very simple app in the App Store, that's like something you can actually show. By day 70, you're going to have one person using your app or 10 people using your app. That's actually something you can write about, right? By having these milestones that you're going for, you can actually show that you've done something, right? And that's kind of like a really good way of making progress in your passion project. Okay, next thing is to seek out mentorship and guidance. So you can pay people for guidance on the passion project that you're working on, and that money is going to be really well spent because you're spending money on something to get feedback on something you're already working on, rather than just like learning passively, right? If you ask somebody to help you with a project, you're going to get a lot of feedback on how to improve that project, versus if you're just asking somebody to teach you just like whatever, right? You can also just ask your teacher, your mentor, your professionals, your parents, whatever, but just start seeking mentorship and guidance in your passion project. Okay, the next thing is really important, which is document your progress, right? This can be publicly through a blog or YouTube channel or a TikTok account, but it can also be privately in a journal or in a Word document. And you kind of just want to reflect on your experiences as you move forward with the passion project. And the goal here is that you're extracting details so that you don't forget them when you're writing your college applications, because all these details are going to be really important to remember when you're writing your college essays. And so documenting your progress will really help out quite a bit in showing your commitment to colleges. Okay, the final way is make sure that you're actually making an impact, right? It shouldn't be that you're just doing it to learn and improve your own career, which is really important, but also kind of find a passion project that's actually solving somebody's need or helping people out. If there's a lot of people who are adults in your area who don't know English, and a lot of them want to learn English, you can make free English classes to train them. That's something that a lot of people reached out to me to help them with. If you can provide free resume editing. You can provide, if you're building an app, make sure the app is actually solving a problem rather than, making a to-do list app that already exists in the App Store. So try to make it meaningful, try to solve other people's problems. And the more you can solve other people's problems and have more positive impact on the community, the more you're going to kind of improve your chances of getting into a great college that really wants those attributes in you. And those are all my tips for developing a passion project as a high schooler to get into top colleges. If you're curious about a specific passion project that you want to start and you don't know how to get started, I'm really happy to answer that in the comments and make a video if necessary. Just let me know. And if this was really helpful, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.